Imagine waking up one morning to find all money gone. Not just the coins in your pocket, the notes in your wallet, everything. The numbers in your bank account have all turned to zero. The digital payment apps on your phone show nothing but a blank screen. It is a silent, global event. At first, you might think it is a mistake, a technical glitch on a massive scale. You would check the news, but the news channels are just as confused. The stock market tickers are frozen. The entire financial world, the engine of our modern lives, has simply stopped. What would you do in that first hour? This essay explores that very question. It is a journey into a world without the one tool that connects almost every human activity. We will look at what happens right away, and then what happens over time. This is not a story of apocalypse. It is a calm look at how people might adapt. It is a thought experiment about our systems, our values, and our ability to cooperate. When the universal language of money disappears, what language do we learn to speak instead? How do we decide who gets what, who does what, and what is truly important when we can no longer put a price on it? Warm. If this sparks your curiosity, like, comment, and subscribe for the next reality. First, we must understand what money truly is. It is more than just a piece of paper or a number on a screen. Confident, like, comment, and subscribe, and tap the bell. Money is a system of trust, a collective agreement that a certain token has value and can be exchanged for goods and services. It allows a farmer in one country to trade with a software developer in another without them ever needing to meet. It is a tool for storing value, allowing us to save for the future. When money vanishes, it is not wealth that disappears, but the primary tool we use to measure and move it. The farms still have food, the factories still have machines, and people still have their skills. The challenge is connecting them all again. The first day would be a day of profound and quiet confusion. Shops would not open, or if they did, their owners would stand guard, unsure of what to do. The baker has bread. How does she trade it for flour tomorrow? The bus driver has a bus. How does he get fuel when the station cannot accept payment? The complex dance of the global economy, where billions of transactions happen every second, would come to a sudden, jarring halt. People would look at each other, at their neighbours, and ask a very old question. What do we do now? This initial chaos would not be evenly distributed. Rural areas might fall back on sharing and informal agreements. In dense cities, the fear would be palpable. Our value tied to income, savings, our ability to earn. When that framework vanishes, it creates an identity crisis. In the face of systemic collapse, people do not simply give up. They adapt. The most immediate and instinctual response is barter. The old, clumsy system of direct trade makes a dramatic comeback. Your neighbour offers a box of fresh tomatoes in exchange for you fixing his leaky faucet. A former accountant organises a neighbourhood watch in exchange for bread. Barter feels fair. You can see what you give and receive. It rebuilds local community, forcing people to interact and rely on one another. However, barter suffers the double coincidence of wants. You must find someone who has what you want and wants what you have. It struggles with services and large-scale trade. A baker gives you bread today and notes you owe one faucet repair. This is the birth of credit. In tight-knit communities, IOUs can work. Trust becomes the new currency. Your reputation, keeping promises, is your most valuable asset, but it relies on everyone knowing everyone. How do you trade with a stranger from the next town over? The silence of the financial system quickly turns into noise on the streets. Without sales, supermarkets cannot pay suppliers or staff. Warehouses stall. Ports idle. Doctors keep working from duty, but heroism has limits. Without fuel, supplies, and reliable pay, Even hospitals and the grid hang by a thread. Rural communities improvise, anonymous cities tense. Survival depends on a machine just unplugged. Uncertainty sparks both great acts of kindness and great acts of desperation. As barter and informal credit show limits, communities formalize systems. They issue credit notes, labor vouchers, 1 voucher per hour of service. Redeem for food, clothes, and other goods at a community store. Local currencies tied to wheat or fish make value tangible. The world becomes a patchwork of small, unique economic ecosystems, resilient but complex. Travelling traders calculate exchange rates. £10 of fish for 3 bushels of wheat this week. Arbitrage reintroduces complexity and potential inequality. We are system builders. When one collapses, we build another. Cooperation or control. The shape depends on our values. While some turn to paper vouchers, the tech world does not stand still. Imagine an app, not a bank, a skills ledger. Plumbing, teaching, graphic design, childcare. Services get verified. You earn contribution credits, stored securely on a decentralized blockchain. Spend credits for goods and services across distance, overcoming local limits. Value becomes transparent. In-demand skills surface. Caregivers and cleaners may be elevated alongside engineers. But who owns the platforms? Who writes the algorithms? Convenience could cost freedom in a system of total surveillance. Governments would not sit idly by. The most likely immediate response would be rationing. They secure food, water, fuel, medicine, issuing ration cards to grant basic allotments. Rationing keeps order but is blunt, inefficient, prone to corruption and queues. Attempts to reboot the old financial system meet shattered trust. A likely path: a state-backed digital currency, FedCoin, digital dollar, issued by the central bank to every citizen. Programmable, trackable, fully controlled by the state. This would compete with local barter and private digital platforms. Citizens must choose: government stability, local autonomy, or private efficiency. The world could fracture into zones based on these models. The struggle between centralized and decentralized power would define the next era. This brings us to a crucial midway reveal. The chaos of a world without money would not last forever. Trade does not stop. It changes form. Barter, local credit, sophisticated digital platforms. Humanity quickly invents tools to exchange. The deeper challenge lies in our values. The loss of money is a moral event. Competition or cooperation? Hoarding or well-being? Resource control or the creation of beauty and knowledge? Technology is neutral. Values are not. New systems will reflect our answers. Section 7. Redefining work. Purpose over paycheck. In a world without money, people work to survive. Food, shelter, care. Farmers, doctors, engineers, builders move to the center. Their skills directly improve well-being. Contributions are rewarded through barter, community credits, and simple gratitude. Jobs once highly paid with little tangible output seem less vital. People are not useless. They find new ways to contribute. Unpleasant essential tasks get rotated or command high credits, some of the most rewarded roles. At first, it feels equal, billionaire and broke both at zero, but power changes form. Those who control land, warehouses, water, their money is gone, but resources remain. Mechanics, doctors, farmers. A shift from knowledge economy to skills economy. The most powerful may be those who design the new ledgers. Local voucher leaders, platform builders, and officials. What to reward, how to measure value, how to resolve disputes. These choices shape society for generations. Control over new ledgers becomes the great political struggle. Hushed. Final reveal. Months pass. New systems of trade are in place. But the biggest change is psychological. The absence of money does not solve greed or the thirst for power. It only changes the currency. A world without money is a mirror, reflecting our values, fears, and capacity for both good and ill. So, what have we learned from this journey? First, our world is both incredibly resilient and terrifyingly fragile. Second, systems are a choice. Economic rules are human inventions. When they fail, we can write new ones. Picture a town square, 1 year after the day money died. Bustling with a new kind of energy. Carpentry for eggs. Youth logging solar credits. Elders teaching mending. Skills once overlooked become vital again. It is not perfect. There are disagreements. But it feels more direct, more human, more connected. In the end, a world without money is a mirror. What is the purpose of an economy? Endless growth? Or the well-being of every person? It is a new beginning, a blank page for a new social contract. We rebuild systems of value every day with every choice we make. You do not need to wait for money to disappear to ask, what do I truly value? What world do I want to contribute to? The tools may change, but how we treat each other is the most important currency we have. Warm, sly. If this reality made you think, tap subscribe so we can ask the next impossible question together. Tease. Next, what if the internet went dark for 30 days? You've been watching IfVerse, where imagination meets possibility. See you in the next reality.